The day Olivia Hart's world began to unravel started with a lie so small it could have been a joke. "I'm fine," she told the mirror. The mirror, out of mercy, did not argue. Chicago glowed beneath her penthouse windows like a restless beast, all steel lines and restless lights, but Olivia didn't flinch. She was used to conquering things that glowed and roared. At 35, she had built a reputation that made boardrooms straighten their spines and investors lose sleep. She didn't stumble. She didn't hesitate. She didn't feel. At least she thought she didn't. But that was before the hotel. Before the girl at the front desk. Before the smile that didn't ask for anything except honesty, and somehow demanded everything. It started on a Friday evening in early autumn, the kind where Lake Michigan winds sliced through even the finest wool coats. Olivia stepped into the Avalon Grand Hotel, her second home during business chaos, and instantly felt the warmth of the lobby's golden lighting wrap around her. She was late, exhausted, freshly irritated by a meeting that felt like 3 hours of people telling her how brilliant she was while offering nothing useful. She moved toward the front desk with the graceful confidence of someone who had never needed to earn space in a room. Then she saw her. Her name tag read Emily Collins. Emily was. God, she was something Olivia wasn't prepared for. A quiet warmth. Soft brown hair loosely tied, stray curls catching the light like they were painted on. Eyes the color of chestnut honey, too earnest for a world like this. She looked up, gave a smile not sharpened by customer service training, and Olivia felt the immediate, unmistakable sensation of falling not physically, but as if her armor missed a step. "Good evening," Emily said, voice gentle, slightly nervous, like she wasn't sure she deserved to be speaking to someone with Olivia's presence. "Checking in or need assistance with your reservation?" Olivia opened her mouth to respond, but irritation from her day surged back like a reflex. "My suite should have been ready an hour ago," she snapped. "I need the keys immediately." Emily blinked, taken aback but not offended. Somehow, the softness returned even faster, like she simply refused to meet fire with fire. "I'm very sorry for the delay," she said softly, fingers moving across the keyboard. "Let me fix that for you now." No defensiveness. No annoyance. Just kindness. Real kindness. It disarmed Olivia so thoroughly she found herself staring, then looking away sharply as if caught doing something inappropriate. Within seconds, Emily retrieved the keycard and placed it gently into Olivia's hand. Their fingers brushed. The touch was light, accidental, but it jolted Olivia like she'd touched an exposed wire. Emily's breath hitched almost imperceptibly, but Olivia noticed. She always noticed everything. "Enjoy your stay," Emily said, voice smaller now, though her eyes held a sincerity Olivia hadn't seen in anyone in years. "And I hope your evening gets better." The words weren't flirtatious. They weren't scripted. They were human. Olivia walked to the elevator with her heart beating far too loudly for someone who prided herself on emotional discipline. She scolded herself under her breath. It was nothing. A moment. A spark that would fade. Except it didn't. It followed her up to the top floor, into her suite, into the shower, into her thoughts as she tried to unwind. The warmth in those eyes. The soft steadiness. The way Emily didn't shrink under pressure but absorbed it like rain on soil. What an inconvenient time for attraction to resurface after being dead for years. By morning, Olivia convinced herself she'd forget about the receptionist. She wouldn't think about her again. Naturally, she thought about nothing else. When she returned to the lobby the next day, hoping no, not hoping, expecting professional service, she walked straight toward the desk. Her pulse betrayed her. Emily wasn't there. A strange disappointment pricked Olivia's chest. Ridiculous. She was a grown woman with a schedule packed tighter than airport security. She did not wait around for anyone, much less a hotel clerk she'd met for 90 seconds. She forced herself to turn away. "Ms. Hart." Her breath caught. It was Emily, approaching from the side with a clipboard pressed to her chest, cheeks slightly flushed. Whether from rushing or something else, Olivia couldn't tell. "I noticed you had an early departure scheduled," Emily said, stopping a careful distance away. "I just wanted to check if you needed car service arranged." Olivia, who had never once in her life been flustered by another person, found herself smoothing a non-existent wrinkle on her blazer. "That won't be necessary," she said, voice calm despite the ridiculous flutter in her stomach. I have my own arrangements. Emily nodded, lips curling into a polite, warm smile, but then something shifted. Tiny hesitation. As if she wanted to say more but wasn't sure if she should. Is everything all right? Olivia asked before thinking. Emily blinked, surprised that someone like Olivia Hart would notice her mood. Oh, yes, I'm fine. She exhaled, then smiled again, the same real one from the night before. I'm still figuring things out here. It's a new job. Your service was excellent yesterday, Olivia said before she could stop herself. Emily's eyes widened. The compliment clearly meant more than it should have. Thank you, Emily whispered. That really means a lot. For a moment, silence stretched between them, not uncomfortable but full, warm with possibility neither dared name. Then a manager called Emily's name from across the lobby. I should go, Emily said, reluctantly stepping back. Have a good day, Miss Hart. Olivia watched her walk away, the quiet sway of her steps, the determined way she straightened as she approached her manager. Something tightened in Olivia's chest, not lust, not yet, but recognition. She knew, with the clarity of a woman used to identifying dangerous opportunities, that Emily Collins was going to be a problem. A beautiful, gentle, entirely irresistible problem. The third time they crossed paths was not luck. Not entirely. Olivia returned to the hotel 3 days later after a conference that made her wish she drank more heavily. Her head pounded. Her heels ached. She wanted nothing more than silence. But when she stepped into the lobby, the world sharpened again. Emily was there behind the desk, her smile soft as morning light. And something inside Olivia, some stubborn, guarded, lonely part of her loosened. Welcome back, Miss Hart, Emily said, voice honey-sweet but steady. I wasn't expecting you tonight. You remember my schedule? Olivia asked, more surprised than she meant to sound. Emily flushed. I try to keep track of frequent guests. Helps me anticipate what they need. The lie was gentle, but Olivia could read people like spreadsheets. She didn't call it out. She didn't want to. I could use a quiet evening, Olivia said. Emily nodded sympathetically. I can arrange for your suite to include chamomile tea and fresh linens if you'd like. That would be nice. Olivia cleared her throat. Thank you. Emily's face softened with something tender, something that felt far too personal for a lobby filled with strangers. Of course, she whispered. As Olivia turned to leave, she heard a coworker teasing Emily under their breath. Someone's got a crush on the CEO. Olivia froze mid-step. Emily's face went crimson. Stop, she hissed. It's not like that. But her coworker only laughed. Olivia didn't move, didn't turn. But she heard everything. Yeah, right. You look like a love-struck puppy every time she walks by. And Emily, voice small but fiercely sincere, replied, I just admire her. She's strong. And she sees people. Even someone like me. The words settled over Olivia like an unexpected weight. Someone like me. Olivia walked to the elevator slowly, heart pounding far too loudly. Someone like Emily Collins should never describe herself that way. And someone like Olivia Hart had no business wanting to fix it. But she did. God help her, she did. Upstairs in her suite, Olivia stared out at the city lights, each one a tiny heartbeat of the metropolis she had built her life around. She'd spent so many years in control of her business, her reputation, her emotions. Emotions were liabilities, vulnerabilities, weaknesses. So why did her chest feel like it was cracking open every time Emily smiled? Why did she remember the sincerity in her voice? The soft determination? The way her eyes lit up when she thought no one was watching? Why did it feel like she had been starving for something she never realized she needed, until she found it in a hotel receptionist with trembling hands and brave eyes? Olivia pressed a palm against the window, exhaling slowly. This could not happen. She was older, established, powerful. Emily was young, new, still trying to carve her place in the world. The imbalance alone made Olivia's stomach twist. She should pull away, distance herself, protect them both. But the thought of doing so ached in a way she hadn't felt in years. Emily Collins was soft, but not fragile. Warm, but not naive. Kind, but not foolish. She was exactly the kind of woman Olivia had spent her whole life avoiding, the kind who could slip past every defense she'd built, simply by being genuine. And now it was too late, because Olivia's heart was already falling, and she didn't know how to stop. Olivia didn't sleep that night. She lay in the dark, sheet twisted around her legs, replaying every moment with Emily like a film she didn't want to admit she'd memorized. The way Emily tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous, the subtle curve of her smile, the quiet strength in her voice when speaking up for herself. It was absurd, irrational, dangerous. And yet, when morning sunlight seeped into the room, Olivia knew she was going to see her again. Not because she needed hotel service, not because she was lonely, but because something inside her, something she had buried decades ago, had started to stir. When Olivia returned to the lobby, Emily wasn't at the front desk. Again, she scanned the room with a mix of disappointment and irritation she refused to name. Then a movement caught her eye. Emily crossing the marble floor with a tray of refreshments for guests, balancing it carefully with both hands. Olivia felt an unexpected warmth tug at her chest. Emily wasn't graceful the way models were. She was graceful in a human way, careful, thoughtful, like she wanted to bring ease into the world instead of merely existing in it. When Emily noticed her, she nearly froze. "Miss Hart," she said, setting the tray down quickly and brushing her palms against her skirt. "Good morning." "Good morning," Olivia replied, trying and failing to keep her voice neutral. Emily tucked a loose curl behind her ear. "Are you checking out today?" "I haven't decided yet," Olivia said. "My schedule shifted." Emily blinked. "Shifted? That must be stressful." No one ever said that to Olivia. People usually assumed stress was something she inflicted on others, not something she felt. "It's manageable," Olivia said quietly. "But thank you." Emily's smile was gentle. "Of course." Olivia didn't know how long they stood there, seconds, minutes. Time felt suspended in the amber glow of the lobby before a manager called for Emily again. She gave Olivia a small apologetic look. "I should get back. Let me know if you need anything." Olivia wanted to say yes, wanted to say stay, but she simply nodded. Later that afternoon, Olivia found herself in the hotel cafe, a place she rarely visited. She told herself it was for a change of scenery. She nearly convinced herself of the lie until Emily walked in carrying a stack of towels and stopped short when she saw her. "Oh," Emily whispered, surprised. "I didn't expect to see you here." "I needed coffee," Olivia said. Even though her cup was already empty, Emily glanced at it and smiled knowingly but didn't call her out. "Is it okay if I sit?" Emily asked, hesitating. A CEO like Olivia was used to being asked for permission every hour. But something about Emily's quiet respect made the question feel entirely different, so soft, so human. "Yes," Olivia said. "Please." Emily sat across from her, hands lightly wrapped around a glass of iced tea, eyes shining with something Olivia had only seen in a few rare people. Genuine curiosity. "You look tired," Emily said gently. Olivia almost laughed. No one spoke to her that way. "It's been a long week," she admitted. "Do you ever rest?" Emily asked, half teasing, half concerned. Olivia tilted her head. "Do I look like someone who doesn't?" Emily gave a soft laugh. "Honestly, sometimes you look like you're carrying 3 worlds on your shoulders." Olivia's breath caught. No one saw her like that. No one noticed. No one dared to name it. Emily didn't say it with pity. She said it with care. "I didn't mean to overstep," Emily added quickly. "You didn't." Olivia's voice softened. "You're observant." Emily blushed, and the sight did something dangerous to Olivia's pulse. "I try to be," Emily said. "People show you who they are when you pay attention. That's a rare skill." Emily's eyes flicked up, unexpectedly bold for a moment. So is being someone worth paying attention to. Warmth pooled low in Olivia's stomach. This was becoming too much. Too intimate. Too close. Emily didn't look away. She held Olivia's gaze with a sincerity that made Olivia feel seen in a way she hadn't allowed in years. "Emily," Olivia said, voice a breath softer than intended. Emily's lips parted, but before either could speak again, a coworker shouted across the cafe. "Emily, we need you at the guest services station." Emily sighed softly. Duty calls. She rose but hesitated, fingers clutching her notepad. Would you be around later? She asked, cheeks warming. Olivia felt something like a smile tug at her lips, real, small, dangerous. Yes. Emily nodded, relief flickering across her face. Okay. Then. I'll see you. Olivia watched her leave, her heart betraying her by beating too fast. This was not a crush. This was not infatuation. This was something deeper. And Olivia's heart was in trouble. Hours later, around sunset, Olivia went for a walk in the courtyard behind the hotel. It was quiet, lined with soft garden lights and rows of trimmed hedges. She told herself she needed fresh air. Then she froze. Emily was sitting on a bench alone, hugging her jacket around her shoulders, staring at the sky with a soft sadness that felt entirely out of place on her gentle face. Olivia approached slowly. Emily. Emily startled, then relaxed when she saw her. Oh, Miss Hart. Sorry, I didn't hear you. And then she smiled, tired but real. What are you doing out here? Olivia asked, sitting beside her. Emily looked down at her hands. Just needed a break. It's been a complicated day. Complicated. Olivia sensed the weight in that word. The heaviness. You don't have to tell me, Olivia said. But you look like you could use someone to listen. Emily's breath trembled. It's just, she stopped, choosing her words carefully. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying so hard to prove I deserve to be here. That I belong. And no matter what I do, it's not enough. Olivia stiffened. She knew that feeling too well. Even as a CEO, she still battled it in shadows. You do belong, Olivia said quietly. Emily looked at her, eyes searching. You think so? I know so. Emily blinked fast, as if swallowing back emotion. Thank you, she murmured. That means more than you know. A breeze drifted through, carrying the scent of the courtyard flowers. Emily shivered slightly. Without thinking, Olivia slipped out of her coat and draped it over Emily's shoulders. Emily froze. You can't wear this, it's yours, I'm not cold, Olivia said. Which was a lie. The autumn evening air bit into her arms immediately. But Emily's comfort suddenly felt more important. Emily pressed a hand against the coat, pulling it closer. You're too kind, she whispered. I'm really not, Olivia said, almost laughing. Ask anyone. Emily looked at her, really looked at her with soft humor. Maybe I see a side they don't. Olivia inhaled sharply. This woman would ruin her. And she didn't even know it. They sat in silence side by side, the sunset deepening into amber and purple hues. Emily's shoulder brushed Olivia's, a feather-light touch that lingered too long to be accidental. Olivia didn't move away. Ms. Hart. Emily said quietly. Yes. You don't have to stay with me. I know. Emily's voice softened to a whisper. Then why are you here? Olivia didn't have an answer she could say out loud, so she gave the only honest one she had. Because I want to be. Emily's breath caught, and in that moment the world felt impossibly still. Too intimate. Too vulnerable. Too beautiful. Olivia. Emily whispered gently, testing the sound of her name for the first time. Olivia's heart slammed against her ribs. Yes, she managed. Emily turned toward her fully, her eyes glistening with something tender and dangerous and honest. I'm glad, she said. Those two words hit harder than any confession. But before anything more could be said, a sudden shout echoed from the courtyard entrance. Emily, we need you inside. Emily startled and rose quickly, regret flickering across her face. I'm sorry. I understand, Olivia said. Emily hesitated, then touched Olivia's arm. Soft, brief, warm. I'll see you tonight, she asked hopefully. Olivia exhaled, just a little undone. Yes, she said. You will. Emily smiled, radiant despite her exhaustion, and then hurried back into the hotel, leaving Olivia alone with her racing heartbeat. That night, Olivia showered, dressed in soft loungewear, and sat on the edge of her bed staring at the clock. 8:47 p.m. She had no good reason to expect Emily to come. No promise had been made. No real plan. Just a question spoken in a courtyard fading into dusk. But Olivia waited. She hated waiting. She was terrible at it. Waiting meant uncertainty, And Olivia built an entire empire by eliminating uncertainty. Yet she waited anyway. At 8:59, a soft knock sounded on her door. Olivia inhaled sharply. When she opened it, Emily stood in the hallway, still in her uniform, hair slightly messy from a long shift. She looked tired, nervous, and shyly hopeful. "Hi," Emily whispered. Olivia's chest tightened painfully. "Hi," she replied. "Am I too late?" Emily asked, voice delicate as glass. "No," Olivia said, stepping aside. "You're right on time." Emily entered tentatively, eyes taking in the suite with awe and a hint of discomfort. Olivia realized suddenly how stark the contrast must be the luxury of this room versus whatever small apartment Emily went home to. "I hope I'm not bothering you," Emily said. "You're not," Olivia said. "You're a welcome change." Emily blushed, fingers twisting nervously. "I brought something," she said suddenly, pulling a small hotel pastry from her pocket. "One of the chefs made extra tonight and said staff could take one home. I thought you might want it." Olivia stared at the pastry, then at Emily, stunned. Women had tried to impress her for years, clients, rivals, suitors, but no one had ever brought her something so simple, so earnest, so unintentionally intimate. "Thank you," Olivia whispered. Emily smiled softly. "It's nothing big." "It is," Olivia said. "You thought of me." Emily's breath stilled. "I did," she admitted. Slowly, Olivia stepped closer, closing the distance between them. Not touching, just close enough to feel Emily's warmth, close enough to see her pulse flutter at her throat. "Emily," Olivia said quietly, "tell me honestly. Why are you here?" Emily lifted her eyes, vulnerable and brave all at once. "Because," she swallowed, "because you make me feel seen, and safe, and alive." Olivia's heart threatened to break open. "I shouldn't feel this way," Emily whispered. "You're older. You're successful. You're you. And you're you," Olivia said. "And that's what scares me." Emily blinked. "Scares you?" "Yes." Olivia's voice trembled. "Because I'm afraid of wanting something I shouldn't." "Why shouldn't you?" Emily asked, stepping infinitesimally closer. "Because I don't want to hurt you." "You won't. You don't know that." "I know you care." Olivia exhaled sharply, the truth unbearably clear in the space between them. "I do," she confessed. "More than I should." Emily's eyes shimmered with something like longing. "Then don't push me away," she whispered. Olivia's control, so carefully crafted over decades, fractured. She lifted a hand, cupping Emily's cheek gently. Emily leaned into the touch like she'd been waiting her whole life for someone to hold her with this kind of tenderness. Olivia's thumb brushed Emily's skin, and a soft, shaky breath left the younger woman's lips. "Emily," Olivia whispered. "Yes. If I kiss you," Olivia murmured, "there's no going back." Emily's voice was barely a breath. "I don't want to go back." And just as Olivia leaned in, a sudden vibration broke the moment. Emily flinched, pulling back slightly. Her phone lit up in her pocket. A name flashed on the screen. Olivia saw the fear rush into Emily's eyes. "Who is that?" Olivia asked gently. Emily swallowed hard. "My ex," she whispered. And in her voice was something heavy, painful, and unspoken. Something Olivia hadn't expected. Something that would change everything. The phone kept vibrating, insistent and sharp, cutting through the soft warmth that had grown between them. Emily stepped back, breath trembling. Eyes suddenly distant. The light from the screen cast a cold glow across her face, erasing the fragile calm she'd carried into the room. Olivia watched her carefully. "You don't have to answer it." "I know," Emily whispered. "But she keeps calling." Olivia's chest tightened. "She," Olivia repeated quietly. Emily swallowed, nodding. "My ex-girlfriend." A pause, heavy and raw. "I left her a few months ago," Emily added. "I moved cities. I changed jobs. Her voice cracked. "I thought I'd gotten away from her." Olivia's brows pulled together. "Emily, did she hurt you?" Emily looked away, wrapping her arms around herself. "Not physically," she said softly, "but she knew exactly how to make me feel small. Like I wasn't worth anything. Like everything good in my life was an accident that she could take away." Olivia felt something sharp twist inside her. Anger, protective and primal, flared in her chest. She isolated me, Emily continued. She controlled who I talked to, what I wore, where I went. It got so good at pretending everything was fine that I almost convinced myself it was love. Olivia wanted to reach out, wanted to pull her into her arms, but she waited. Emily took a shaky breath. When I finally walked out, she told me I would never find anyone who cared about me the way she did. Emily's eyes glistened. And some days, I still believe her. Emily, Olivia said gently, look at me. Emily hesitated, then lifted her gaze. You walked away, Olivia said quietly. Do you know how strong that makes you? Emily didn't speak. You deserve someone who sees your worth, Olivia continued, not someone who steals it. A tear slipped down Emily's cheek. She wiped it away quickly, embarrassed. I'm sorry, Emily whispered. You didn't ask for all this. Olivia stepped closer, her voice soft but steady. I asked you to be honest with me. And you are. Emily breathed in shakily. And Emily, Olivia added gentler still, you are not hard to love. The words hit Emily like a force she wasn't ready for. Her lips parted, another tear falling, but this one different, lighter. Before either could speak again, the phone lit up once more. Same name. Same cold sting. Emily turned the device over face down. I'm done letting her control my life, she said softly. I want something new. Something real. She looked up, and in her eyes there was a fragile courage. Olivia, do you want that with me? Time stalled. All the battles Olivia had fought, all the walls she had built, all the loneliness she had carried, it all led her here. To this moment. To this woman. I do, Olivia said. More than I should. Emily stepped close again. Then don't stop. Olivia didn't. Their lips met slow, unsure at first, like both were afraid to break whatever magic had held them together all this time. But when Emily's fingers gripped Olivia's shirt and Olivia's hands cupped Emily's waist, the kiss deepened, soft, warm, filled with the kind of longing neither had allowed themselves to feel in years. It wasn't urgent. It wasn't rushed. It was an unfolding promise. A beginning. When they finally pulled apart, Emily's breath trembled against Olivia's. I've wanted to do that since the first night you walked into the lobby, Emily whispered, cheeks flushed. Olivia huffed a soft laugh, her forehead resting against Emily's. I was a nightmare that night. You were exhausted, Emily corrected. But even then, you felt like a storm I wasn't afraid to walk into. Olivia's smile softened into something rare and unguarded. You shouldn't say things like that. Why? Because I'll want more. Emily looked up at her. So take more. They didn't rush anything after that. Emily curled beside Olivia on the couch, leaning into her shoulder. Olivia wrapped an arm around her instinctively, their bodies fitting together with a quiet ease that felt like exhaling after years of tension. They talked about Emily's childhood in a small town in Michigan, about Olivia's first years building her company from nothing, about the way fear could shape a life until one brave moment cracked it open again. Hours passed without either noticing. At one point, Emily fell asleep against Olivia's shoulder, soft breaths warm against her collarbone. Olivia brushed a curl from her face, heart swelling painfully. She had handled million-dollar deals without blinking. But this was terrifying. And precious. Olivia didn't move until Emily stirred awake past midnight, embarrassed she'd fallen asleep on her. I'm sorry, Emily murmured, sitting up. Don't be, Olivia said. It was nice. Emily looked at her with soft affection. Do you want me to go? Olivia hesitated, caught between desire and caution. You can stay, she said. If you want. Emily nodded, shy but certain. I do. They didn't cross any lines. No rush. No pressure. Just warmth. Just two women finding a safe place in each other's arms. Emily fell back asleep quickly, curled against Olivia's side. Olivia lay awake longer, her fingers brushing gentle circles along the younger woman's back. A part of her whispered danger. Another whispered finally. Morning sunlight filtered through the curtains when Emily woke. For a moment she looked confused, then her gaze fell on Olivia sleeping beside her. And she smiled, soft, disbelieving, full of wonder. Olivia stirred at the movement. "Good morning," Emily whispered. Olivia blinked awake, a slow smile growing. "Good morning." Emily's cheeks warmed. "I didn't mean to hog the blankets." "You didn't," Olivia said. "You kept me warm." Emily laughed quietly. "You know, for someone who terrifies half the business world, you're surprisingly gentle." "Only with you," Olivia murmured. Emily's breath caught, and Olivia realized she meant it. But the moment didn't stay perfect. Because Emily's phone buzzed again. Her ex Emily stiffened, fear returning. Olivia sat up slowly. "You don't have to face this alone." Emily looked at her hopeful, scared, grateful. "Will you stay while I call her back?" "Yes," Olivia said without hesitation. Emily took a deep breath and stepped aside to return the call. It was short, tense, quiet but fierce. Emily spoke clearly, voice shaking but determined. "No, I'm not coming back. I've moved on. Please don't contact me again." When she hung up, her hands trembled. Olivia crossed the room and pulled her into her arms. "You did it," Olivia whispered. Emily pressed her face into Olivia's shoulder, tears dampening her shirt. "I'm free," she breathed. "Yes," Olivia said. "You are." Emily looked up at her with a smile that was wet with tears but bright with relief. "Thank you for being here. Always." And Olivia meant it. For weeks after, their connection grew quietly but deeply. Olivia visited the hotel more often, sometimes for business, sometimes with the shameless excuse of craving the hotel cafe muffins Emily loved. They went on late-night walks by the river, shared dinners at cozy neighborhood restaurants, stole moments in hallways and elevators, hands brushing, smiles lingering. Emily grew more confident. Olivia grew softer. It wasn't a secret affair filled with heat and shadows. It was tenderness. It was honesty. It was healing. But rumors eventually spread through the hotel staff. Whispers that made Emily nervous and Olivia furious. "I can make them stop," Olivia said one evening, jaw tight. "No," Emily said gently. "Let them talk. I'm not ashamed." Olivia stared at her, stunned. "No one has ever been proud to be with me," she said softly. Emily cupped her face, voice warm. "Then let me be the first." Olivia kissed her, slow, grateful, overflowing with affection she could no longer hide. 1 month later, Olivia made a choice. She bought the entire top floor of the Avalon Grand and turned it into her official residence, so she could stay close. So Emily wouldn't feel small in her world. So their story didn't have to be stolen in fragments. And when Olivia opened the door to show her, Emily gasped. "You didn't have to do this," she whispered. "I know," Olivia said, brushing a thumb across her cheek. "But I wanted a home where you'd feel welcome." Emily leaned in, forehead resting against Olivia's. "Then I'll make it a home," she whispered. And Olivia pulled her close, heart full. Their first official date was simple. A walk down the Chicago River Walk. Hot chocolate in hand. Emily's arm looped through Olivia's heart thudding like it had rediscovered something it thought was gone forever. Halfway through, Emily stopped and looked at the skyline. "You know," she said softly, "I used to think love was something that happened to other people." "And now?" Olivia asked. Emily took her hand. "And now," she said, "I think it found me." Olivia swallowed hard. "Emily, I'm not scared anymore," Emily whispered. "Not with you." Olivia kissed her, right there against the riverside railing, Chicago lights shimmering behind them. A kiss that tasted like safety, like healing, like a future. A kiss that felt like home. Months later, Olivia returned to the same hotel lobby where it all began. Emily stood behind the desk, glowing with confidence she hadn't possessed before. "Miss Hart," Emily teased, "do you need assistance with your reservation?" Olivia smirked. "Actually, yes. I'm looking for someone." "And who might that be?" Emily asked playfully. "A receptionist," Olivia said, leaning in. "Brown hair, warm eyes, makes my entire world a little brighter." Emily laughed, cheeks flushing. "Well," she whispered, stepping closer, "I think you've already found her." Olivia brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "Yes," she said softly. "I have." Emily kissed her gently, not caring who saw. And Olivia kissed her back, letting the world see exactly what she'd fought so long to hide. Because this love was nothing to be ashamed of. It was the most honest thing either of them had ever known. Under the warm hotel lights, in the same place where a tired CEO first met a nervous new receptionist, one truth settled quietly between them. Some hearts break open not from pain, but from finally being held by the right hands. And Olivia and Emily, two women from different worlds, had found a love both secret and deep, soft and fierce, healing and real. A love worth choosing, worth protecting, worth staying for. Together they walked forward into a future built not on fear, but on the courage to be seen and loved, exactly as they were. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to get notifications about next videos.